So welcome back, guys. This is the your friendly neighborhood podcast.
I'm Rag. This guy's
Enes.
Enes. On my left hand side and on my right hand side, that's Ez. So yeah, we're back. Today we're gonna talk about money. Let's start off with the lessons we learned about money, right? What are some of the lessons that you learned through your personal experience
You start off.
about money? Well, I'll end it. You guys start, and we can talk about it, right?
So, money. If you have money, your freedom. Money buys you freedom, essentially. That's the whole purpose of money. Being free, not being tied up to the system, having to follow all these rules. Having to live day by day, check by check. That's the whole point. Money buys you power. Money buys you happiness. Actually, people tell you money doesn't buy you happiness. It actually does.
It only buys you happiness to a certain extent, though,
Yeah.
in my opinion. Like, there are so many people who are making tens of millions, if not hundreds of millions of dollars, and they're still depressed as well.
It won't buy you love. That's for sure. That's the one thing money cannot buy, in my opinion. Other than that, there's this meme that says, "I'd rather be crying in a Lambo than crying in a smart house." You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That's what do you guys think so far?
Wait, let's go back to like money and happiness.
Yeah.
So I don't think money buys happiness, but the only reason money gives you happiness is because, again, freedom, right? Once you are financially free, you are basically out of the system, right? So what the system is right now is, I think, the way just all economies are set up, right? So you go to school, you graduate, you go to university, you graduate, you get a degree, you work till you fucking like 60, you old as shit, then you retire. So that's basically a lifestyle system that people have made, right? So money, if you become rich earlier, you can get out of that system, right, and do what you love, and that will make you happy.
Exactly.
In my opinion,
Yeah.
not money, right? Because like, even if you're a Lambo, right? Think about this. Even if you're a Lambo, you're gonna get used to it. Just like how you buy a new car or a new watch now, and you got used to it.
But would you rather get used to a Lambo or a Honda?
No.
That's the different kind of.
But-
because that's life technically.
But even if you get used to a Lambo, that will not cure your deep down what you said about, right? So let's say if your family is suffering, but you still have Lambo.
Okay, I'll tell you
Are
something.
you-
Speaking of family and sickness or not happiness,
Right.
in parts of the world, in Canada, we're blessed to have free healthcare, for example, right? But the U.S. healthcare debt is an all-time high right now, and there's an expected recession, as they say, due to the amount of debt that the U.S. has due to its healthcare. Not the point, but the point is just having that money.
To take care of your health.
You can take care of your health, you can take care of your family, you can just keep yourself busy enough in a way that will keep your mind away from other things. You know what I mean?
Right. But
Happiness, it will not buy you happy. Like, you will not
like
feel
specifically happy.
exactly. You know that content at heart?
Yeah.
Yeah, it won't buy you.
People who are poor are still happy as fuck.
That's true.
Right? And people who are rich are still sad as fuck.
That's true as well.
What if this happens, right? You're a billionaire,
Mhm.
but you have a kid, your kid dies.
That's that. Money can't bring it back. But death, either way, it's in the poor family and it's in the rich
Right.
family.
So that's why I'm trying to say money does not specifically buy you happiness, it just
But-
gives you freedom.
I don't think death is a good example to use.
But the thing is that if you, for example, said a billionaire, his son dies, he'll be
Right.
sad, right? I think he would be more sad than, well, in most cases, billionaires have to work hard, right? And
Yeah.
spend a lot of time to earn that money.
Right.
I think he would be more sad than a poor person because he didn't spend enough time with his son.
Yeah.
His son passed out.
That's-
So there are some things about, like, when you talk about happiness and money, right? And a lot of people, there are people who are lucky enough to know that have had to work to gain this money.
Right.
Or they just got it from their parents, or they're spoiled, for example.
Mhm.
So it doesn't matter to them; they can do whatever they want.
Right.
And but there are people who work hard, and you work hard. You spend your own time making this much money, right?
Right.
So you're losing time though in other aspects of your life, with your family or with your children, doing things that you like, hobbies, because you're spending that time in the money. And that's why people who get rich feel usually sad.
Yeah.
But there is also this other thing though. People who got rich and let's say they quit their job, they have everything now.
Right.
Their goal could have been that that's all they wanted to do, just get rich.
Right.
Or their other goal could have been that they wanted to earn so much money that they don't want to do anything else except what they like. So
Right.
they could go out, party all night and all day. But after this period of time where you earn the money, or after you party so much, there comes this emptiness, right? Because you did everything that you want, and everything that you want can be done in such a short period of time. You don't understand.
There's no more
Right.
excitement.
Exactly. So
It's like the chase, you know, like
yeah,
You got it, now you want more.
yeah,
But I feel there's a curse of money, right? Money has this curse where it's you can never have enough. The more you get,
no, I don't think so.
the more you want.
No,
Actually,
well, I think that only happens because of the reason that you get excitement out of it.
Exactly.
So
Yeah.
people find. So if, as I said, if you have gotten everything else, like you have achieved everything else, like what did you do to achieve this,
That's-
right?
that's-
How did you? It was the goal was the money, and now you got the habit of having the goal as money, money as the goal.
Now,
got
now
used
you,
to it.
now your
Like
life
you were
feels,
saying,
now
you
your
got
life
used to
feels empty,
Yeah.
Exactly.
right? And then for that happiness is just more deep down inside than anything physical,
Yeah.
like anything like visible or physical type of thing. You know what I'm saying?
Mhm.
Even if you live in a big house, you get used to it. You get
Mhm.
sad. But maybe there are some people who live paycheck to paycheck, but what they love to do is like help other people out,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
And change other people's life, and that's what brings them joy.
Mhm.
And they, no matter how easy it will be, they'll keep how lack of money they have, they'll keep doing it
Mhm.
because at the end of the day, they can go to sleep saying they're happy as fuck,
Yeah.
right?
I don't think anyone who lives paycheck to paycheck would
No,
ever say they're happy as fuck. They can
There
be
are,
content.
there are.
Like, hey, I've had enough. But if you think about it, like from family perspective, you want to secure your future, your kids' future, your grandkids' future. So you're gonna keep working as hard as you can, not for yourself, not for your content.
But
It's
some
for
people
your
are
children.
selfless though.
Some
That's,
people are.
that's selfish reasons,
Some
right?
people are.
But there are lots of people who are also selfless.
That's true.
And selfless people are usually the ones who are the most happiest, if you think about it. So selfishness is what makes you sad. Selfishness is like, you can have certain amount of selfishness, right? But if you have too much selfishness, you'll get sad.
Mhm.
You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So like you can have certain amount of selfishness, like I want new shoes, I want nice clothes,
Mhm.
but right now, if you have selfishness like, oh fuck, I want a Lamborghini next month, or I have to have the newest iPhone every single time it comes out, even though it
Like,
might be
you
like
wanna
Well, in that
$400.
case, you know.
Then you're gonna be sad because that's too much selfishness.
But these are people. No, not that I feel like with what you're saying, but like with people understanding the value of money and how, you know, you have to respect money. No, people don't know the value of money once they used to get money, like spoiled kids, for example.
Right.
This is dedicated to all the people who their parents pay for their everything and never have to work for a day. You know, I've seen people out here, parents give them money after
Right.
money after money after
Right.
money. They don't work
Buy
a
the
day.
BMW.
And you guys go buy a BMW
Yeah.
for all the brown boys.
I ain't me, yo. Why you looking at me like that?
No, you're not. But they don't know the value of money. They grow up and then they start working. They
Right.
start spending the same money they
And
used
then-
to,
and then
they
they'll-
get shocked.
They'll eventually realize is, you know, their parents, it took them 30 years to get to a position where they can buy their kids BMW really easily, right?
Mhm.
So as soon as they get out, stand on their own feet, start walking,
Yeah.
by working, and they get out of their parents' house, they will realize they can't afford a BMW right away, right?
Yeah.
BMW is not as easy as buying milk for them anymore. You know what I'm saying? So that's because of that selfish reason they're gonna get depressed, because you know they can't achieve it as easy anymore.
So exactly.
So-
and then
So like that's why people who are more selfless, they have not too much selfishness to them. Those are the people who are the happiest. That's what I've noticed, right? If you think about like, who's the most Gandhiji. Gandhiji was happy as fuck. He
Who's
lived Gandhi
For that.
Mahatma Gandhi. Everyone knows Mahatma Gandhi. I don't need to explain who Mahatma Gandhi is. Mahatma Gandhi had no money. But he was still happy as fuck. fighting for he was doing something good. That's what brought him joy. And he didn't have selfish reasons like, oh, I need to get the newest horse.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So like,
Because he realized he limited the value of money in his head. That's why poor people
are usually
happy,
happier
because
than-
they don't have a lot of money. So
Right.
they've realized that, hey, for me to be happy, for me to live on, because they're not gonna live sad their entire life.
Yeah.
I should not put as much emphasis and value on the money
On
and
money.
cherish personal connections,
Yeah.
love, family,
Right.
going
Simple
out,
things in life.
simple
Simple things in life.
So that's what they cherish. People who've seen what money can do,
Yeah.
they like that.
Right.
Like we've all experienced not being broke and being broke at one point of our lives.
Yeah.
And we know the value of money, we know the good it brings, and we know the bad it
The
brings.
bad word. Yeah.
Money comes with responsibilities, it comes with a curse of wanting more. And people need to find a balance. It's all mental. It's all mental. You need to find that mental balance where, hey, you know the value of money, you know how it can change your life, but at the same time you know how to handle it, control it. Control the money and don't let the money control you.
Right.
That's the
Yeah.
But at the same time, you have to consider that, for example, poor people, even though you could say that they are happy and rich people value that, poor people go through struggles every day.
They do.
Because I come from a
But
country where.
but rich people go through struggles every day too. But it's a different type of struggle.
exactly.
So you can't compare rich people's
Yeah.
struggle to a poor person's struggle,
That's
right?
very true.
So
That's
poor
very true.
people struggle to get everything, everyday basic stuff.
Yeah.
But rich people might struggle to like have deep connection. Cause like if I'm multi-millionaire, right?
All I'm seeing is that dollar sign, bro.
Yeah. So like how do I know his friendship is true? His friendship is not for my money because he's not attracted to me. Not attracted. Well, pause. Not friends with me because of all this money that I bring to the table, right? So it's a different type of struggle. I think everyone in life goes through struggle,
Mm-hmm.
but once you get to a certain point, your struggle changes.
Yeah.
That's what I think.
Middle class, low class, and high class. Everyone
Right.
comes with his own.
So what were you saying? My
So,
bad.
no,
Take this one.
like you're saying struggle, everybody comes with a different struggle.
Right.
People have different struggles, rich people have different struggles.
Mhm.
So it's expected also that poor people will have different type of happiness, as
Yes.
rich people will have different type of
Yeah.
happiness.
For rich people, their happiness could be going to Bahamas,
Yeah.
right? Poor
Same
person,
with
their
poor
happiness could be.
people.
Just spend the time
But
with
no,
family.
poor people, their happiness could be going to McDonald's with their whole family,
Yeah.
right? Just seeing your kids happy with the milkshake,
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
right?
But that doesn't mean rich people. Some rich people do appreciate that. As well.
Right.
Some people do.
If you look at Warren Buffett,
Oh, I
right? This guy's super $86 billion net worth, right?
Mhm.
He's 90 years old, 89 years old, matter of fact. But he's still happy as fuck.
Yeah.
He has a good work-life balance, spends time with his kids. He lives his life super simply because he knows if he keeps upgrading his life too much, then he's gonna,
Mhm.
become selfish, and like the happiness will be a different type of happiness. It won't be simple things, because simple things are much more easy to get, right?
Yeah.
And simple things are easy to get, so they can provide you a lot more happiness,
Exactly.
Yeah.
right? Versus more complicated, hard things, they're harder to get.
Mm-hmm.
So the dosage of happiness you'll get will be less.
Mm-hmm.
You see what I'm saying? So yeah, that was a good example of.
Actually, Warren Buffett was talking. I was watching a video of his the other day, and he was talking about how he's blessed to have found the love of his life at an early age,
Right.
and how he had people around him who genuinely loved him.
Right.
Yeah. So that's something that should always keep an eye out for. Interpersonal communications.
Interpersonal.
No, interpersonal relationships.
Right.
Yeah. So yeah, I
Because
guess-
that's like the foundation of happiness, right?
Right.
Like if you have a supporting family or a supporting loved ones, then it's guaranteed that you're gonna have that happiness with you,
Yeah,
right?
it's true. Because if you see like evolutionary perspective through thousands of years, millions of years, we're like the human species, we've grown into like being a social species,
yeah.
right?
Homo
So-
sapiens. That's why we survived.
Yeah. So it's meant like it's a need for us. We
Mhm.
must have a social interaction.
Right.
Like even if you
Even a
see
shy person.
sorry.
Even a shy person wants
Yeah.
the you know.
But he finds it more difficult to talk with people,
Right.
right? Because it's shy.
But once they
That's when
connect,
feel-
they really like open up and
Yeah,
are
yeah.
easy to talk to.
Exactly. So both like rich and poor. But just by talking about billionaires and poor people, and how you made the example with Warren Buffett and all.
Yeah.
Don't you like what I'm getting out of this is that you can be. Let me rephrase it. So Warren Buffett is a billionaire, right?
Right.
But he's living simple, and there are people who are millionaires who are not as rich as him, but they're
But
rich
living
like
way more
crazy.
luxurious. I think all of
right?
us are living more luxurious than Warren Buffett right now.
Not
You know
gonna
what I
lie.
mean?
Like I ain't even.
Okay, you actually,
other
yeah,
than
maybe him,
yeah,
maybe you,
you.
man. What do you mean?
But no, that's
You have a car?
I mean, I have a car, I just transited here, man.
That's
It's
true.
76.
But yeah.
Yeah.
I guess I'm living more
yeah.
lavish.
Oh, come on. Are you
But-
telling me Warren Buffett doesn't have a Bentley in his garage?
No, actually he has a Cadillac, 2007 Cadillac. He still
What
drives
do you have?
2009 Chevy.
So yeah, to the point that I was trying to make, these people who are like millionaires and spending a lot of money,
Right.
they got used to this, and so they got cheaper. They look for more and more, and they start getting freaked out. Like, do I trust people and this and that?
Right.
Whereas Warren Buffett, he kept it simple.
Right.
He lived a normal life. Same with the poor people. Some poor people are looking forward to getting billions or millions of dollars
Right.
just to spend it and all.
Mhm.
But without realizing that they just need just a bit more money to live a normal life.
Right.
Because Warren Buffett, he's just doing what he likes, investing money,
Right.
right? But he, other than that, he's not spending the money like crazy.
Mhm.
If someone would have had that opportunity to have billions of dollars, who knows what would they have done, right?
Right.
But yeah, in the case of Warren Buffett, he's just keeping it.
Mhm.
He's just there doing investing, doing what he likes with it,
Right.
right? And yeah, just by this discussion, don't you think that the best type of life would just be a normal life?
A simple life?
Yes.
Yeah, I think so.
Even though if you could have billions, like that billions would be just there, like
To make
That
life
feel
easier.
safe.
To,
Let's
yeah,
say.
Yeah.
to make life easier,
Yeah.
Right.
but it's not necessary to have that much money.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There was a study that showed that after you earn $80,000 a month, whoa, not a month. A year.
I'm like, what?
80,000 a month is only $1 million a year.
Yeah.
That's not that much. But
I don't know about any of you guys. I'll be happy with like
Yeah.
$1,000 a month, man. For now.
I'll be happy too. But I'm just saying. But that's besides the point. Let's just say $80,000 a year. There was a study that showed $80,000 or $90,000 a year.
Mhm.
Anything more than that, the more money will not change your
Your
happiness.
lifestyle.
Yeah.
Or no, not your lifestyle, but your happiness. Up to below $80,000 a year, if you go from 50 to 80, you'll be a lot more happier. But if you go from 80 to 130, your happiness will not change that much.
Yeah.
You just have the security,
Yeah.
right? You can lay back a little bit more,
Mhm.
right? Not have to worry as much.
But
So
that's what it's all
that
about.
study was pretty cool. And
That's
it's-
what's it all about, not worrying. Well, with that being said, guys, we're going to take our first break and we'll be back. We'll talk about to what extent are people willing to go to make that money.
Yeah.
Okay, see you in a bit.
Welcome back, guys. Now we're gonna talk about what we're gonna talk about.
Money, to what extent are people willing to go and how morals can influence the amount of money you make.
All right.
So,
And how you treat people. Just morals and money. Yeah.
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 so you want to start it off?
The morals of money.
Yeah.
What people are willing to do to get money. Well,
Let's talk about what we are willing to do.
Oh, exactly. Yeah.
Well,
To what extent are you guys willing to go to make, let's say, $5 million? If they're gonna give you $5 million right now, what's the worst thing you're willing, or best thing? It depends. To what extent are you willing to go though to get that $5 million? Right
like,
now?
what's the limit that you're gonna say no?
Yeah.
Like, would it be killing somebody or robbing somebody
Exactly.
or
Clap
anything?
someone's ass cheeks.
Or bend over, you know, and take it, drop the soap. But yeah, I don't think I'll do anything, honestly. I don't think I'll do anything illegal or anything in my person, like bending over, spreading my booty
Like
cheeks.
you wouldn't go out of your morals.
I won't go out of my morals. No, I'm a very strong moral guy,
Mm-hmm.
and anything that crosses that, I just say no to it.
Mm-hmm.
What about you guys though?
So, religion and ethics have a big deal and a big influence in this topic. So if you guys haven't watched our religion episode, go ahead and watch that.
If you
Link-
don't, if that's not removed from YouTube, because YouTube gets touchy when we talk about
Yeah.
religion.
So if you're not a soft little bitch and you don't get triggered.
No.
easily-
I'm talking about the YouTube company, like Google. Google will remove our video most likely because we talked about religion. But that's beside the point. If y'all seen it, good for you. Man. Good for you.
So personally, I'm not willing to, just like you, I'm not gonna like go out of my way, like
Right.
drop my ethics.
Right.
I'm not gonna hurt anybody. I'm not gonna
Rob anybody.
rob any. I'm not gonna cross my
Right.
personal values and morals for X amount of dollars. It's not worth it because at the end of the day, it's all about that self-contentment
Right.
and happiness as well. You
Uh-huh.
want, because if you, let's say you made $20 million at the expense of hurting someone that you care about or just hurting someone, personally, I would not be at ease. It just wouldn't sit right with me.
Right.
I know some of y'all wouldn't care, but that's my personal perspective on that.
Right.
How about you?
I feel you do not have a question for both of you guys.
So,
but
I don't really. I would say that I wouldn't do for money anything that is going to hurt
Anybody?
or leave permanent damage to me or anybody else.
what type of damage? Mentally or physically?
Anything.
Okay.
Any type of damage.
Right.
So I wouldn't want that. I could tolerate
So,
it
but
on
wait,
myself.
would you rob a person who's a billionaire for $5 million?
No.
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 Okay.
I know it doesn't mean anything to
I
them,
wouldn't either.
but it just wouldn't sit right with me.
Yeah.
Yeah, it wouldn't sit right.
Yeah. it
I
would-
didn't earn it. You know,
Yeah.
you have
If
to.
I
You
asked
have to
them.
earn it. And you know, people who don't earn their money, they don't know the value of money.
Right. And that's why usually people in lottery, they win lottery. There's a study that no matter how much lottery you win, like there are people who win $270 million. 5 years later, they declare bankruptcy.
Yeah.
Which is crazy. So the easier the money comes to you,
The either
the
goes-
faster, the easier it's gonna go.
Because those people are not used to how to manage this amount of money.
Right.
They haven't worked.
Right.
so
They have the
But like-
poor person mentality that
Right.
hey, I have that money right now, let me spend it before it goes away.
Yeah.
Right.
They don't think about putting that money in a place where
Even
it
if
can
they
make
just
more
put
money.
it in a savings account, $270 million
Yeah.
in a savings account that yields
With a
2%.
Yeah. That's crazy.
You are, yeah.
That's still the 2% you can live off for your whole
Give me
life.
that 2%.
But so I have a question for both of you guys. So there was this, my girl asked me this question. So there was this show that she was watching, and in that show, so let's say you and your girl, or you and your wife had a kid, and then that kid was diagnosed. Let's say you were living in U.S., not Canada. You were American citizen, and that kid was diagnosed with I don't know, some type of crazy illness, and then they needed surgery for him, and you guys needed $250K, but you guys were poor as fuck. Your girl goes and robs a bunch of gas station, comes back with $250K, right? She didn't hurt anybody. She didn't do anything.
She heard business.
Well, she hurt the other person. Oh no, let's just not say gas station. Let's just say bank. Let's just say ATM. She robbed an ATM, right? So that's the bank's money that's gone. She robbed an ATM. She got $200K. She helped clear her child. She tells you that she robbed an ATM. How would you react?
So I would ask her to deposit that 250K in my bank account and then call the cops on her and say I don't know where the money went. Just kidding. I would. That's a good question. I don't know what I would do, to be honest, because that's your.
Because like if you didn't get that money, your kid was gonna die,
Yeah.
right?
So the thing is that if you think about it,
That's a hard question.
that's the bank is putting that money. So people who have put their money in that bank
Right.
can take that
But
money.
for a bank,
So
250K is nothing.
for a bank, but the
Right.
bank is operating with people's money, right?
But the bank will not. If you
You're indirectly taking people's money.
no wait.
Yeah.
It is people's money, but the bank is responsible for paying for that people's money. So the
That's
bank
very
will
true.
lose that money,
That's very true.
not the people.
Yeah. But at the same time, so I mean, if you think about it, if you steal $1 from 250K people, that won't be an issue,
Right.
That's okay. But the thing is that you don't know, first of all, and the bank I don't know. It just doesn't seem okay still.
It's not okay, but what would you do?
Yeah, and how would you react? What would you do? How would you react? What would you
Like,
say to
what
your
Well,
girl?
you're already deep in shit. That's for sure. And if I love my girl, of course I don't wanna like,
See her get hurt.
yeah, anything happen to her.
So I just got rid of the bank like it was an accident. fell.
You're gonna go accidentally for 50 years behind bars, man.
It was you, oh man, I don't know. I heard that.
You could. I would just try to find us something to get us out of.
Well, my house.
Well, like cops or anything. did
Oh
not-
yeah, you could be like.
You don't have a
sell my
house. You're like really poor.
I guess my kid is gonna die. Like, what am I
Yeah.
gonna do? Like, if I'm in a
Right.
position like that, that's how it's meant to be. I got myself in that position in
Right.
the first place.
So
That's
you
the
think it's like
consequence.
God's plan?
Yeah.
It's just my stupidity that I got
Right.
me there.
Okay.
Somewhat, unless life totally fucks up with me,
Mm-hmm.
then I'm sure there's a lot more options. There's a lot of support.
Probably.
You can start a GoFundMe.
But no, let's
Yeah.
let's just,
GoFundMe with
But it's kind of hard if people don't know you.
It is,
Is it?
but that's where you're gonna have to put the effort. If you love your kid, you will do anything for it.
Yeah, that's true.
Realistically,
but anything for it was robbing in this situation.
anything without does
Like
not.
no, let's just say you tried everything possible. Like the bank won't give you any loans
Then-
because you're broke. So bank is not gonna trust you to pay 250K back.
Mhm.
You tried everything, GoFundMe, but you wasn't popular, so you couldn't get that much money. Blah blah blah, right? Then she went and robbed the bank
Mhm.
and got this much amount.
You could come up with a story. So you just, well, you can spend the money or like get people to help you. So make up a story or something.
Right, but like cops and shit did not find that your
Yeah.
girl has stolen it.
I feel
But
like-
she just comes to you and she just tells you, I have robbed this much money.
Mm-hmm.
How would you react to her? What would you say to her? What would you do to her? Or in the situation, what would you do? Just in general.
My kid comes first after all. I will take the money, spend it on my kid, and I'll
Same.
spend my life
Right.
trying having to repay that.
Okay. So you were paying forward by like, let's just say like 250K, whatever you earn, up to 250K, you just pay
Actually,
forward by
no,
like giving
I
back to the
wouldn't.
community or something.
I wouldn't do that. Okay, now this is where the religious conflict, personally for myself, comes in because this money that I'm taking, it's not mine. It's not earned by me.
Right.
I have no right to it.
Right.
Therefore, it is wrong
So you're not
to
gonna-
put it on my kid.
Right. So you're not gonna.
I'm not gonna.
So you're gonna let your kid die,
I'll try my best.
but because
I'll
you
work.
think it was God's plan.
It's not
Basically.
God's plan. It's just what happened. It's reality.
Right.
It's a fact. Hey, my
Okay.
kid is sick right now,
Right.
and I'm broke.
Right.
I can't do anything about it.
Yeah.
I will try my best, 100%. I will not sleep
Right. Right.
until I like. Because there's always ways to make money. If you think about it, there's always
But
a way to make
Not
money.
in
That's one
short
way
term
to-
though. Not in short term.
Not in short term.
Right. Like you need this money in like a month.
I'll try to finance it. I don't know.
Like okay. But you would not take it and spend it on your kid.
No, I would.
Okay. What about you?
I'll send her back with it.
You send it back with it. Okay. What about you?
No, I don't know about letting my kid die.
Yeah, I don't know about letting my kid die either.
I would let government know or something like that. Like I
Right.
would make it public and say after I healed my kid.
Right. Right.
I would say that
You would
I
come
had
forward to the
women-
crime.
Yeah, I would say I would take the responsibility. For
Right.
it.
So you would go
Won't
to
even
jail for it.
mention. Yeah,
Okay.
and
You will face the consequences.
yeah. So I would heal my kid first
Mhm.
because if I say it before I heal him, they might take the money, right?
Right.
So I would just heal the kid, spend the money on him, and then afterwards I would just come out like
To the public.
I did this and this. I had to my family this. I could show them the bills, the proof, and all
Right.
that I needed because I'm pretty sure that they give you less of a
Penalty.
penalty
Yeah.
if they
True.
and maybe because I believe that some judges at least are very understandable.
Humane.
Yeah,
Right.
humane.
Yeah.
So they would either give a lower prison time, or give me extra work because you also can do like work
Right.
instead of going to prison.
I mean, another way actually that like I mean, yeah, I would probably go to a family member or something and ask for
For their money.
a loan from a family member.
Right.
I'd be like, hey, my kid is dying, help me out. Even though
Right.
I'll support will come.
Right.
That's why having people who care about you, like if your kid did that and didn't have the
Right.
money, I would do whatever I can because your kid
Oh,
is
yeah,
my
same,
kid to
same,
help you
same.
out. So I'm sure there are people out there who would not leave the people who care about in that situation like
Right.
that.
So this topic brings me to my next topic. So this was just an example. What I personally believe is, poor people, like like the gangsters or like just like criminals in general.
Mhm.
I feel like they do crime because they have no other way to get money, right? So that's why they do crime. Like for feeding their family, they have to rob somebody.
Yes and no.
So
Yeah.
Yes and no. There's
and then
always
wait. And then like once you do a bad habit, once you do a bad thing, it just becomes a habit. It's like a
Yeah.
compounding thing, right?
Uh-huh.
It keeps happening. You're gonna keep
Mhm.
going back to it. It's like snorting coke or
Yeah,
whatever, right?
yeah.
And you're gonna have to do more and more bad.
Mhm.
And then that once you see that money come in, you become more greedy.
Mhm.
So now you have enough money to provide for your family, but you're gonna become even more greedy and do bigger crimes and rob more people or do whatever. That's what I think happens in society, especially if you're born in a poor class.
That's true. Most people who resort to crime
Right.
are because rich people rob people too.
Right.
They're just
But it's
lazy.
legal robbery.
Yeah,
In my opinion.
they manipulate the system in their own way.
Yeah.
But we're talking about the poor class right now. People who are born in a poor class and go to crime as their escape,
Mhm.
in my opinion, are just lazy.
Okay.
They're lazy. They don't want to put in the work. They were raised in a poor family or a
Uh-huh.
poor society,
Mhm.
so in their head, they
Right.
think they're stuck.
Right.
They don't bother putting in the effort, hard work, research, because if you do this, there's always a way. There's always a way. That's something life taught me. There is always a way out,
Uh-huh.
unless you kill somebody. Like
Mhm.
unless it's too late and you like screw up big time. But if you're just starting off and you're struggling,
In first world, let's make that clear. In first world, there's always a
okay,
way.
first world,
In
yeah.
my opinion,
Yeah.
Yeah. So in first world, like there's
like Canada and America, blah blah blah.
crime is a mentality. It's a sickness. It's an addiction to people.
Right.
That's
That's
my-
why it
that's-
eventually gets there.
Exactly. So it becomes an addiction to them. That adrenaline rush when they're robbing someone or
Or
like
selling drugs.
hitting a lick, selling
Yeah.
drugs. They enjoy that, or they just resort to it because they think they're too deep and they can't get out, or
Right.
they think that's their only option. When really it's not.
Mhm.
Sometimes it is. Like I'm just saying sometimes, but most of the time I just think criminals are just lazy people.
What would you think about like big mafia or I don't know?
Okay, these
The
are
big mafia, big mafias are like actually business masterminds in my opinion.
well, yes.
But they just decide to use business in a different way.
If you think, if you talk mafia tools,
But they had
Origins.
they had to start off with nothing.
exactly.
Like if you go way the
way
fuck
back, they were
right?
just a bunch of lazy people. Yo, don't come after me, please. Like, you guys, real shit. I don't fuck with y'all out here. Mafia.
My friend, yeah. Like,
Y'all hiring.
Don't hire me though.
Don't hire me. Good luck. But I feel like these organizations, they have to start somewhere. Right? Either with really, really rich people who got corrupt over time, because
Right.
some people get rich through corruption. Because once you get
Right.
that taste of power and authority, once you have that, once you build your way
And
up
money.
there,
You
But
believe
that,
that people are
that
lower.
corruption is also a crime too, right?
exactly.
So-
People start taking advantage of their success.
Mhm.
You know what I mean? They
Mhm.
get hungry for more
Right.
because they're not happy with the amount of money they had.
It
So
goes
they
back to our
chase
last
another
topic.
kind of high. Yeah, okay, some
Yeah.
people are actually pressured into it because some people who have high influence or high power, they get approached by an organization,
Mhm.
do this to us, we'll harm your family. That's a different scenario. I'm not talking about that. But people who choose to do that, they're either lazy or they're just like not content. There's always a better way to do things.
Right. What do you think? Going back to like the poor.
So yeah, I'm just
second
thinking about
episode.
my home country, right? Because right
Mhm.
now, like we're not a very rich country.
Right.
uh,
Even though they're in Europe.
Can you just tell the people where you're from?
so I'm from Albania. and
Good, good. If an Albanian girl out here is trying to find a man, he's here, of course.
Okay.
He's a pretty boy too.
Yeah, but I'm also here.
Maybe
Yo, man, if your girl's gonna watch it, you about to get your ass smacked.
I'm a blocker.
I'm a vlogger. Don't show the video.
Blocker.
Yeah, but
Love you, baby.
yeah, but in my country, the whole government is what is it called? Is
Corrupt.
operated by corrupted people, right?
Right.
It's not that the people like you see young politicians who
Mhm.
get in the government, but because these other older politicians who have been in the politics for so many years and know
Right.
how things work, they easily corrupt the new people,
Right.
right? So they
They have much more power.
they give this high to the new
Mhm.
generation
Right.
of politicians.
Mhm.
So the people that are at top right now are the ones who are building a society with such a poor mentality. Because
Mhm.
you were saying like some people are lazy, right? But there are also other times where people who are in control do it in such a way. Because I could easily go back in not easily, it's not easy, but I could go back in Albania and try my best to become a politician to
Right.
help to improve my home country, right? But as soon as I reach a level, I'm 100% sure that these people who are above me, so to say, with experience, money-wise, and connections, will try to press me down if I try to go against them. So I will
yeah,
have
that's 100%.
two choices, right? I'll have either to do what they have done before, or go against them and have some consequences.
Right.
So it's not always being lazy, but also where you are, right?
Yeah.
So, yeah, here in Canada and America, Germany, etc., it's easier to go to such a level,
Right.
to become rich through hard work.
Right.
But places like very poor places, it's way more difficult than it seems.
Yeah. So that's why I said like in first world.
Yeah.
But yeah, if you wanted to talk about third world, we can just go really in depth.
So,
Maybe some other episode.
Yeah.
But
also, some people are not lazy. They say, why should I? Like, that's true, it's laziness
Some
to
people
think.
play the victim.
Right.
People play the
Yeah.
victim. Are just lazy. People play the victim are lazy because everyone is a victim. Everyone out here goes experience life. Some people harder than others. Some people so much easier than others. Depends on where you're born.
so yeah, so now what I was thinking, let's say like
You
Northeast.
can just let him keep
Oh yeah. Like you want to finish yours?
Oh, I was just saying how just life happens with everyone, and you shouldn't use it as an excuse to resort to crime
Right.
or just hurting other people. Because everyone has his own story. Don't judge a book by its cover, unless you had thought. But other than that, just be nice.
Mhm.
Don't be a victim. Be a warrior.
But I feel like sometimes people go into crime because they're born around crime.
That's true.
And then it takes a really strong mental person, right? Really strong and smart. Like if you're born in a neighborhood, like if you're born in Northeast and all your friends, like all of us, let's say we're like criminals, been in and out of jail, and it was a cool thing. Like for Northeast kids, like it's a cool thing. Like yo, I went to fucking jail, bro. I did 2
Northeast
hours.
here in Calgary?
Yeah.
Oh.
Northeast dudes.
I'm like,
I don't fuck with them.
I'm like, if you compare the Northeast here to Albania,
Yeah.
Oh yeah, no,
Or
of course.
Egypt,
But
or
I'm
even-
just saying criminal people, right? It's
Yeah.
it's a cool thing for them. It's a cool thing for them to like do crimes. Like yo,
Yeah.
I fucking shoot a dude up if I want to.
I feel like
type of thing.
if you
right?
look at crime as a cool thing, no offense, you're a fucking child.
You're a fucking dumbass.
You're immature as shit.
Yeah.
People who, because I know criminals who look at crime as it's like it's the job now. It's a full-time job. They don't like it, but they accepted the reality
Yeah.
of who they are. It's not right. But if you look at it as a cool thing, if you think you're just cool because you're doing crime, man, you need to get the fuck out of high school and grow the fuck up.
True. So yeah, as I was saying, like if you were born in a crime area, right? All your friends were doing crime and stuff like that. It would take a really strong and smart person to reject it, right? Because that's a norm for them.
Mm-hmm.
So what was my point with that? Fuck, I forget.
But I would say that also depends a lot on the parents, right? Because they are the ones who go kid.
Right, but like there's a certain point that you listen to your parents,
That's true.
Because eventually, once you grow up,
You want to be like your friends.
you
You want to do what
right,
your friends are doing.
right, especially.
But yeah, at the same time, your parents play a big role on how you judge your
100%.
judge your friends. Sorry.
100%.
Yeah, and with who do you want to be friends with, right? If you want to do what they're doing or not. Because I see it myself. I've had, Bena, it's easy to become a bad guy. To be like, I'm tough. Like as you said, if you if you think you're cool because you're killing people or those type of things. Those type of things. It's very easy.
Mm-hmm.
I had, there were kids on my middle school or even the elementary school. That's what it's called.
Yeah.
Yeah. So there were kids, right, 10, 12 years old, and they were like, oh, yeah, I got a knife and this and that. I remember on my middle school, grade 6 or 7, something like that.
Yeah.
There were this guy. He's like 13, 12 years old. He bring knives in class, and he's like, look at me, I'm so cool.
Yeah.
Maybe you want to
Wow.
cut a sandwich, bro. No, that's the book.
Okay.
I'm just kidding. Yeah. No.
And this guy, I'm so cool and this and that. I know this guy, and he's supposed to be like a top guy.
Yeah.
Right? But I wasn't relating with him. I wasn't like
Right.
saying, oh yeah, I want to be like him. That's because of how my parents like raised me.
Uh-huh.
Now it could be like their parents got raised in a bad way too, right?
Yeah.
Mhm.
So that affected them. But at the same time, it's a huge responsibility on the family to raise a good child.
That's
so to
true.
say, if they want to raise a
Like
good
the
child.
basic morals that your parents provide are the foundation of your the building
Of
blocks
your
of
whole
who
life.
you're gonna be in the future.
Exactly.
Right.
Your whole life.
So yeah, that's 100% true.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, I think because when I first came to Canada, there were like we were poor. Like when we first came, we were
Mhm.
poor, so we were living in a poor community and stuff like that.
Mhm.
So in like poor community, of course, there's gonna be like more dudes who are like tough
Yeah,
guy,
yeah,
cool
yeah.
guy. And then like they would like act tough. They would try to like recruit me one time. Because it was like a cool thing for them to recruit a fob and make them do their work and shit like
Yeah,
that, right?
yeah.
And I was like, I stood up and I was like, y'all motherfuckers are stupid, blah blah blah, and like never.
No more right.
And I was like, yeah, so yeah, basically, like parents, when you're young, they play an important role.
Yeah.
Because the building blocks when you're young.
Yeah,
So
to all the parents out here, raise your kids properly, teach them values, teach them morals, beat the fuck out of them. But not way
Yo,
too much.
I think beating is needed. What you guys think?
100%.
No.
You don't think so?
100%. What?
So you won't beat your kid? Like, no, I'm not talking about ba ba ba. Like,
Yeah.
no, it's like,
Well, one clap, like
clap.
one slap.
Start working.
Well, one slap wouldn't be a big issue, but like more than that. Well, even one slap, if it's like a strong slap, I don't
Yeah.
think it would be okay.
My mama used to beat me up with my own belt to a point that the fucking belt ripped, and I got so happy.
Don't worry on the belt fitting.
Man, it's funny because some dads would be like, it's out of topic, but my dad would be like, yo, go grab that belt. Who make me go grab
Yeah,
the belt?
and whoop you
I
with
just
the
whoop me with it. And I'll have to go grab it.
Yeah.
No, I'll
You
go
have
grab
to,
it.
if you don't, you get even more. If you make them get up, go get the belt. Oh, you best bet you coming with 3 belts. You know what I'm saying? But
You're
yeah.
doing tricks like it's a circus.
But I don't know. I might be too young to say that, but I think beating is needed. Especially a kid like me. I was a fucking fucked up kid. Like I was even like right now, right? I have like some personal belief, and I stay strong to them, right? As a kid, you have more fucked up personal belief, right?
Yeah.
Because you're not that mature. And like if my mom didn't whoop my ass,
Yeah.
and my dad didn't whoop my ass,
You would have went down that path.
no, not the criminal path, but I would have been like
Fucked up worse than you are.
a really shitty kid,
Yeah.
right?
Okay.
And grew up to be a shitty person eventually, right?
So
So I think beating is necessary.
let's keep that for another topic. Watch out for if you should beat your kids or not.
Don't take advice from us though.
Yeah.
We ain't got no
Do
kids.
whatever you like.
Even though we raise thousands of kids every day. That's what I'm talking about.
We do, man. I have.
Oh my god. I was like, what's he talking about? I was like, oh, okay.
But
Let's talk about how a rich person versus a poor person portrays money.
okay.
How they look at money. What is money to them?
Mm-hmm.
So I'll start this off. I think rich people, for example, look at money as a way to make more money, versus poor people, they look at money as a rare item they have right now and they use it all. They look at it as a.
So let me
What's
give
the
you
word
an
in
example.
English?
I'm trying.
I know what you're
Trying
doing.
to-
So rich people view money as a tool, right?
Mhm.
What do you do with the tool? You make things.
Yeah.
You make it better. You use it to do other stuff,
Enhance yourself and
right?
Yeah.
Enhance yourself,
Yeah.
enhance your situation.
Rich,
Poor-
like intelligent rich people
Right.
who have the desire to self-improve will do that. Because
Right.
as we said before, there are rich kids who are rich only because of their parents.
Well, yeah, that's a different story. But when I say rich people, I mean like people who earn their wealth.
People
So
think-
like investing,
people
business,
think, yeah.
blah blah blah, right? Not always rappers though. Sometimes rappers are stupid.
They go
And
bankrupt
ball
because
players
they
as
stop
well.
making
Sometimes
money.
ball players. You know, there's a study that shows 80% of ball players will go bankrupt. I think 8 years or 5 years after they
Yeah,
retire
after
from
they
basketball.
retire.
Who's,
NBA players
Big
or like
players.
football players.
Oh,
like I'm
yeah,
talking
yeah.
about like football.
yeah.
And these NBA players, like the shittiest one of them, make like 2 million.
Yeah.
The really good one of them,
But
2 million a
rappers,
year.
Even rappers, because we're talking about rappers.
Right.
Like 6ix9ine, he had less than $2 million in his bank account. He was
Yeah.
like flexing with like 150K
Yeah.
chain and all.
That's stupid.
Now imagine how rich he could have been right now. He probably would have had a $10 million net worth if he invested
That's
that money.
probably
Right,
Bought
so-
a hot house or something.
Yeah, so back to the point. So rich people view money as a tool.
Mm-hmm.
Poor people view money as they put money at a pedestal, right? They think money's like,
Yeah.
you know what I'm saying? Like this godly thing. There's like
Yeah.
something that they need to chase really hard for
Mhm.
it. And
Which
once
you do need to chase money, but
you do need to chase money, but I think you can achieve a lot of money in smart ways as well.
No, that's the exact.
And once they achieve some money, they're just reckless with it,
Mhm.
right? They just once you get a nice car, you fucking drive like a fucking maniac, right?
Yeah.
That's the same with like poor people with money.
All the Beamers drivers.
Yeah. So what do you think?
I think it is. I agree, but as I said, for the rich people who have a intelligent mentality of self-improvement, right?
Right.
Those are the people who I would say they use money as a tool. Unless if we're talking about so rich kids who do whatever they want,
Right.
I don't think they have that tool thinking
Mhm.
for the money.
But not all rich kids are like that though.
not all rich kids.
Yeah. I'm not that rich. I'm not.
Well,
My
because
parents are not rich. They're like wealthy.
Okay.
No, by rich I mean like having net worth of like hundreds of millions of dollars.
Well, for me, having a net worth more than if you're earning more than $1 million a year, for me,
Yeah.
you're rich.
Okay.
No.
That's not my family though.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. So,
Okay, so like
see,
don't be
if
that.
even in this scenario, like you're judging yourself, you're comparing yourself with way more richer people.
No. I'm not comparing myself. I'm saying like there are
Well, you're saying
like
wealthy people
wait,
are.
let me give you an example. Trump's kid is fucking genius. He's a business mastermind,
Mhm.
right? He could have been this like spoiled rich brat,
Mhm.
right? But he started he used his money, dad's money and dad's connection to build his own empire, to
Mhm.
start his own thing, to invest in his own way,
Mhm.
right? So like not all rich kids are like that.
Mhm. But you have to think about this. Trump is a successful businessman, right?
Right.
And he has written books about his success
Yeah.
and all. And don't you think that he, as a parent, would have teached him by a little,
Yeah.
just something
But like
to get him pushing?
for
And
anybody to become rich, you have to become a businessman.
that's true.
But in one way or
look,
another.
look at Trump. He's a billionaire. Not always, right? Not always. This is going to happen. But genetics.
Yeah.
You as a person, I see it on myself. I would have never guessed. I would have never noticed it if I wasn't self-aware. But how much I am like my father and my mother.
Right.
Like I wouldn't have realized it if I wasn't this much self-aware. Even for him, because he has the genetics of his parents, his
Right.
father, he probably has the same ambitions.
Yeah, of
Not
course, of course.
the same ambitions, but similar to his dad.
Yeah.
Well, now we'll go back to the parents, the parenting, the lifestyle he lived in, the household he lived in. Maybe I don't know. I don't want to know even, but Trump is a smart guy. He's financially smart. you would assume that he would teach something like that to his kids.
Yeah, of course.
Mhm.
And then that's probably why his son would come up like that, because
Yeah.
he knew the value of money at a young age,
Yeah.
and he applied that to his life.
He used as tools from a young age. Even if he like, let's just say as his birthday gift, he got like maybe $20,000. He didn't use that $20,000. He actually invested that $20,000
Exactly.
instead of like upgrading.
But doesn't mean that his father didn't have a hand in helping him out.
Oh no, I think
That's for sure.
So-
So he was smart about that.
Yeah.
He knew how to use
he
that.
could
to
have
his
he could have
benefit.
he could have went the bad way, right? He could have used $20,000 to do drugs and shit like that, and throw
Yeah,
like
yeah.
lavish parties
Yeah.
and stuff like that, right? But yeah, I think if you have rich parents, it's easier for you to be successful. That's
Oh, yeah.
100%.
Money
Yeah.
makes money.
Right, money makes money. But I think anyone, in my opinion, can achieve success.
Yeah.
Even if their parents are not rich. In first world. First world.
Mhm.
Third world is a little bit harder, but let's just talk about
Mhm.
here how it is here and stuff like that. But yeah, so like let's give example Kylie Jenner. So much respect to her, youngest billionaire, right?
She is intelligent, but
She's intelligent, but the reason why she was
Let me-
able to the success came to her
because
money.
she's so rich.
Yeah.
This is totally my opinion. I'm sorry if I get anyone off from this, but this girl, I don't think she deserves it, and it makes me lose.
Why do you think that?
What?
Man,
Why
the
not?
whole family.
Actually, no, she
wait,
deserves it. My
She's
bad.
the
She
richest one
deserves it.
from her family.
Stop. If you
Yeah.
think about it.
She's
If
the
her
rich-
sister didn't make that sex tape with any of them, would you have known who they are in the first place? Maybe I don't know. I don't keep
Her
up
parents,
with
yeah,
that.
yeah.
her parents
I know who they
are
were.
famous.
Yeah, I didn't know. I just one day I'm browsing the internet, doing some research, and then Kim Kardashian.
Lots
I'm
of
like,
research.
oh, I like Kim Kardashian.
Yeah,
Turns out a lot of people like Kim Kardashian, and then they became a big thing.
yeah.
And then Kanye West too. Kanye West brought a whole lot of spotlight on the family.
Yeah, yeah.
Kanye West, I think
But-
Kanye built the family.
No. man.
Yeah.
Kardashians
Come on,
were
Tiger too.
Kardashians were very famous before, and
Yeah, yeah,
her,
they
her-
were,
her-
they were.
what's it called? Kylie's mother, I forget her name. She's a multimillionaire, and
Yeah.
she's like well known in Hollywood and stuff
And
like that.
her dad was or her mom now, I don't know what you want to call it, wasn't he like a baseball player or like he was a
Something.
he was an
something
athlete
popular.
in some way. Makes sense, but like you're talking about like how often do these parents get brought up in the media compared to their
No,
children?
Wait,
actually,
let's just go back to this.
I have to say, I actually respect them. They're actually smart.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
But
they are smart.
They are smart.
They're smart.
But because of what they have achieved, this is what I want to actually say. It makes me lose hope in the current society,
Why?
like at the mental state of our society.
Why?
Because if you see so much supporters and the people who follow them
Mhm.
just because they are famous, just because they have attention,
Exactly.
right? They are not thinking for their own. They're thinking as this celebrity is thinking,
Yeah,
right? So if you see her fans, they were willing to donate her money
to make her the
just to
youngest
become a
billionaire.
billionaire.
Yeah.
And she,
Stupid.
I'm pretty sure, I'm 100% sure that they understood how people function, how they can grab attention.
It's-
Because as you
But I
said,
don't think she
the
took-
mother built it up foundation, right,
Foundation.
for this family.
Mhm.
Kim Kardashian slept with someone, it became a huge thing, right?
Right.
The man, this guy who turned into a female, he also got a shitload of attention from the Kardashian family. Kylie
That's
Jenner,
smart, though.
Kylie Jenner, she
They know
use
how,
media to their
wait, no, they know how
But
to utilize
rappers,
They
they
know,
start with
wait, wait,
rappers.
they know how to utilize what they have.
But if you use it like in an unethical way, that's first off, in my opinion.
Yeah.
Second off, you know how you say you lose hope in society today? I 100% agree with you. Because all these people, they're not willing to build themselves. They're looking at other people and how they are successful. And they keep, would you spend your time building yourself or watching Kim Kardashian and her family? People who keep up with the Kardashians, I don't think that you can do that. It's fun, I'm 100% sure. I follow Kylie Jenner. I actually DM'd her twice, she didn't reply. Kylie Jenner, if you're watching, please. I know you're busy, it's all good. I know you didn't see it yet. You can see it. But personally, I would rather spend my time educating myself to be like them
Mhm.
Yeah,
or as rich as them
right.
instead of just watching them, just for
Right.
fun.
But that's what social media is doing nowadays. Social media is a good thing and a bad thing depending on
How you use it.
how you use
Yeah.
it.
How you use it.
But don't you think that the people who watch them feel like
I
it's
feel
more
this-
interesting than their own life, if you think about it?
Yes, I feel like, but
So
Actually, I don't want to say
it takes
because
it takes
right?
it takes more time for someone who doesn't have that level of wealth to go to that level.
Yeah.
It takes way more time, way more
Yeah, of course.
determination,
Exactly.
and yeah, hard work, lots of hard work. Whereas they are there. What is left for you is just to watch them. what
But
they're doing.
they already
Imagine
built-
yourself-
but
Yeah,
listen,
yeah.
they already built. So for us to become a billionaire, we have to build a system. For them, the system is already there. They just build on that system.
Yeah, because they
You see what I'm
understood the
saying?
system from their mother.
Right.
So they
And
got
they use their sex appeal.
exactly That's
How
the
they
big
look.
thing.
They know how to.
They advertise
How to
themselves
capture eyes.
Exactly.
as
As
drama,
objects.
as objects.
Objects.
Because the funny thing, I don't know if you've seen this. Kim Kardashian posted this video with 73 questions with Kim Kardashian and all.
Yeah.
And there was this part where she was like, what don't you want people to look you? Like, what is something that you want people to look you for? And she's like, oh, I just don't want them to focus a lot on my butt, and that's it. And
But she's out here
it's,
getting like
injections
injections.
and it was stuff like that, and you're like, what do you mean? It doesn't make any sense. Like you're
Oh.
transforming your body to become like
A
you are
body,
now.
a walking
Yeah,
ass.
and now you're saying that you don't want people to give you this attention.
Yeah.
It makes no sense. So like if you
Hypocritical. They're
Yeah,
hypocritical.
yeah.
They're hypocritical. They use exactly. They use the sex appeal to appeal to the people, because
that's what people
because
like.
people these days are so shallow.
Yeah.
They're so shallow. They don't. There's no deep inter. They all care about likes, follows, views, what the celebrity did. They don't focus about self growth.
They don't.
There's no self growth in today's system.
Yeah.
Like it's very rare. Self teaching, growth, dedication. It's just you just want everything easy, right?
Mhm.
So the value of hard work to us these days, because you see all these celebrities, internet made everything easier, but it made us forget the value of hard work.
Mm-hmm.
What do you think?
Okay, so what people oftentimes forget is, do you know who Gary Vee is?
Yeah.
Right.
Brilliant thing.
Oh, Gary Vee.
Gary
the guy
Vaynerchuk.
told me.
Yeah.
Motivational speaker.
I have a comment with him too, but you can keep going.
But okay, so people see him now, right, as a person who runs a company, $1,000, 1,000 purple company, and has two companies, the Vine company and his Gary Media company,
Mhm.
right? What people and he sees like his YouTube now been popping up and stuff like that. But what people don't understand is before all this shit happened, he worked his ass
He
off
saved up.
for 20 years.
Yeah.
For 20 years,
worked in retail
without
with his
anybody
dad.
knowing him, without anybody knowing him at all.
Mhm.
He was earning minimum wage while his dad's business. He was working for his dad's business. While his dad's business, because of him, was
Became
doing
successful.
$30 million a year in
Yeah.
revenue.
Mhm.
He was earning $56,000 a year, and he would save up 30,000 of that 56,000 per
Mhm.
year. So people didn't understand all this struggle that he'd been through, and then, but now because of social media, it's much more easy to look at him and see that, oh shit, he's a guy with like $200 million net worth and blah blah blah. People oftentimes forget what went behind the scenes. Because what you see on social media is just a highlight, just a little tiny thing,
Mhm.
right? And what's
And that's
more
what-
important is what
You don't
behind the
see.
scenes,
You don't see what happens behind the camera.
right?
But that's also what the guy wants you to see, right? Because he didn't come.
But no, but he you don't know him that well. He
It's-
preaches
yeah.
that.
Why is he doing that?
Oh, he just wants to do it so other people understand the importance of hard work. Why you should work hard.
I
And
respect
he
that.
uses him as an
I res-
example, and he has lots of experience because he came from nothing,
Mm-hmm.
right? He came from Russia, a communist country, and then he came in America,
Mhm.
and he built so much success and stuff like that, right?
Mhm.
So, and for you to be able to get to that point, you have to have lots of knowledge.
Yeah.
You have to learn a lot, right?
Yeah.
So he's just trying to teach other people how
He
to
built himself.
how to
He's
learn
just-
that.
Yeah. He's using his knowledge and experience and with the resources he has right now to help people out. But we're not here to talk about Gary V. Shout out to Gary V.
Yo, I love you, man. I listen to you every single day
Same.
when I'm driving from school,
I
and then when I'm driving back from
When
school.
I'm on the toilet, when I'm in
And
bed.
oftentimes when I'm working out, I'm listening to Gary Vee as well.
He's sick.
I love his podcast.
He's sick. He's
But yeah,
woke.
he's woke.
Let's
He's one of the only real ones.
That's true.
Like in my opinion, he
Insane.
does not want money from his podcast or
He
anything.
makes money out of
He
it.
makes a lot of money, but he
What?
does not give a fuck about it. You know what he did one time? So there was this guy. He loves when people chase their dream.
Mhm.
He's all about fuck what your parents say, because your parents oftentimes tell you just go to school
Yeah.
and get a nice job and do that. You
Mhm.
know, instead of like you chasing your dream, taking risks, right? So he one time on podcast live, he gave this dude. This guy wanted to go to LA and become a videographer.
I think I saw that video.
Yeah, he gave this guy live $1,000 or $5,000. I don't remember the exact number.
Mhm.
Right away, just so he can go to LA and chase his dreams.
Oh, how the- So the thing is that this guy is telling you go chase your dreams,
Right.
but there is nothing backing you up if you go and chase.
Nothing what?
You have to have something there, a foundation, as we said before. You have to have a foundation
Right, but
before
you-
chase a dream.
You
can't be
build
like,
it. You
I'm
have to
quitting.
build your foundation, though.
Yeah, exactly. That's something.
That's what he's saying. Like when you chase your dream, when you go to LA, like for example, for him, when he goes to LA, his foundation would be like talk to other people, you know, get to know other people, start recording other
he's-
YouTubers or shit for free,
Yeah.
and then eventually build up.
But during that time, he's not gonna have anything. He just had the money to go to LA,
But-
he has to stay there, eat there.
Well, that's for you to figure out. He's
That's
not
for
gonna
you
be
to
easy.
yeah. He's not
Exactly.
gonna hold
be
your
easy.
hands
Yeah.
like he's your
But
dad.
it's not that easy.
It's not that
So
easy,
it's
but
gonna
you
take-
have
That's
to
why
take,
it takes hard work and dedication.
Exactly.
and you have to take risks.
That's
like-
true. But what I'm saying is that you always have to do something else on the meantime that you're chasing.
Oh no shit, no shit. So he's
Of
probably
course.
gonna work for like In-N-Out Burger joint or some shit, right?
Of course, you have to chase your dreams. You want to put 100% on your dream, but you can't put your whole self into that if you don't have any money.
Yeah, of course.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, we've kept you long now, guys. We're gonna take a
Another
2-minute break, and we will be back with even better content. We will discuss how to make,
How to get rich.
yeah,
How to get rich so you can chase your dreams.
yeah.
See you soon, guys.
Welcome back, guys.
Yeah, welcome back. Now we're gonna talk about how to get rich. Like how anyone, in my opinion, in first world, can get rich
Yeah.
and then chase their happiness. Because I think in order for you to, like really pursue your dream, you have to have some type of financial security, or like it will discourage like most people from pursuing their dream unless like they're like really like ambitious, like super ambitious. So I was listening to this podcast, this Joe Rogan podcast. Do you guys know who Joe Rogan is?
Yeah.
I listen to a bunch of podcasts. I was listening to Joe Rogan's podcast, and then in there, this guy came, this Indian guy who like immigrated to US, and he started his own tech company, and then now his net worth is like around $2 billion.
Okay.
So I was listening to him. He had a really interesting perspective, and then I completely agree with his perspective. Now I believe his perspective before even I listened to the podcast. So basically, in that he was saying is, anyone can get rich. Like everyone in US, Canada, anywhere in Europe other than Albania, like third world European countries, can get rich over time, right? If you give yourself 30 years, you can get rich.
Yeah.
Rich enough so you won't have to work your job, and you can take risks to like do what you really love,
Yeah.
right? And make money from what you love. Because eventually you do want to make money from what you love, even if that's partying. If you party, you want to figure out a way that you can make money from partying. Or like maybe it's like pets. You love pets. You eventually want to figure out ways that you can monetize pets and make money, right? But in order for you to do that, you need to be rich enough so you can quit your work, and you have other money coming in that provides you with enough money that you can quit your work, right? And in my opinion, one of the only ways to get really rich in 30 years is by, you have to do 2 out of these 3 things, okay? So you have to, you have to do number one thing, you have to have a source of income,
Yeah.
a high source of income,
Not you.
right?
Not you. If you have a good saving skill, you don't need that high source of income.
Well, but the higher the source of income, the easier it
Yes,
is, right?
that's for sure. But
So-
just enough, you need to make enough money that, hey, I can cover my basic expenses,
right,
and just there's a little bit left.
right, yeah. So you need a source of income, that's number one.
Yeah.
And then you need to do one of the 2 things. Either invest in real estate or invest in stock market,
Okay.
right?
Or both.
Or
e-commerce.
both, or both.
There is e-commerce.
Well, that brings source of income. That's source of income. By source of income, I mean a job or business.
But no, because with e-commerce, it can be like a millionaire.
Yeah.
Quick times.
Well,
Shopify.
that's source of income, though,
Yeah,
right?
No.
But that source of income can go up eventually. That's why you want to invest. So that investment, when investments make you money, so let's say dividends and rent income,
Mhm.
it's almost like guaranteed money.
Well,
Like
let's-
those companies will pay you dividends every quarter, or every month, or whatever how their dividend structure is, right? And you more than likely are gonna get rent if you have like it in a contract with your renter. For 12 months you are gonna get this much amount of
Yeah,
rent, right?
It's called 10.
Yeah, right. So that's what I meant. So like source of income, business, job, e-commerce. E-commerce is a business. YouTube.
But I'm saying
Right.
anyone can do e-commerce.
Anyone
But not
can do
anybody can get a degree and work a high-paying job.
Right.
Yeah. So
Right.
if you're just a simple guy sitting at home, if you're like a lazy fuck like me, you can. E-commerce is a great way to make
Right.
money.
And if you want to make more money, have multiple sources of income, right?
Exactly.
If you want more income coming in, have multiple sources of income. Then you can upgrade your lifestyle if you want to, or invest more,
Mhm.
right? Put it more towards investment. So yeah, so you need a source of income. Higher the source of income, the better. The faster you will get
Yeah.
to that point
Yeah.
that you can be completely financially free,
Mhm.
right? You can be completely financially free from investments, right? So
Long term.
long-term investments,
That's
right?
the thing. No one is willing to play the long-term game.
Right.
Everyone just wants it now.
Yeah.
Right now.
So that remind me of this cool quote that Jeff Bezos asked Warren Buffett, right?
Mhm.
He's like, your investment strategy is so easy. And Warren Buffett always preached that anyone can get rich, basically. Warren Buffett always preaches that. And then so Jeff Bezos asked, your investment strategy is so simple.
Mhm.
It's so simple, like literally anybody with just a little bit of brain can do it.
Mhm.
Then why don't they do it? And Warren Buffett's like, no one wants to get rich slow,
Yeah.
right? Everyone wants it now, especially in this modern era when you see
Exactly.
people on Instagram, right? These celebrities or like other people on Instagram flexing with their Lambos and stuff like that.
Mhm.
You think, oh my God, I want that money like a year from now.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? But yeah, so that's besides the point. So just earn the money, save most of that money, don't spend it, don't be stupid, don't upgrade your lifestyle when you get like a bonus or like when your salary increases and stuff like that. Just keep that money, save it, put it aside, and put it in your investments.
Yeah.
And that investment, when it makes you more money, just put it back into investments, right? And then that way, over 30 years, 20 years, it will grow so much.
Mhm.
It's so much to like an uncountable number, like a number that you would have never had imagined.
Yeah.
And now you can completely quit anything and chase and do anything you love. Travel, party, drive cars, or like help
Raise your kids
people,
properly.
help
Raise your kids
people.
properly, build a family. It's up to you. But so yeah, step number one: do not think short term. Play the long term game.
Right. There's
That
always
is-
long
that
term.
is-
You'll always be successful.
Yes, that is I feel like the number one misconception.
Right.
I cannot preach this enough long term because that's that's the misconception.
Creative
Especially our generation these days, because we're so used to everything quick.
Right.
Everything we get just Amazon, you get it one day shipment.
Right.
You know, YouTube, you want to learn something, everything is on the internet, Google, you get it right away.
But learning quick is actually a good thing.
So patience is not something I feel like our generation is blessed with.
You're right.
We do not get to practice that a lot.
Mhm.
So yeah, step number one, guys, think long term, have patience, save up slowly, put it in a in a, let's say like a, what are these? S&P, put in the S&P stocks. Market always goes up, guys. Over time, it never goes down. It may go down for a year or 2 or 5, maybe even 10.
It's not gonna go down.
But if you're thinking long term, it's not gonna go down for 10. I'm just saying.
It will never go down for more than 2 years.
I'll say 5 is the max.
No,
But,
that's crazy.
5 is the magic number in bad luck. So think long term.
Right.
Step
Think
in.
long term and don't spend too much.
Don't
Like
think-
at least in my opinion, save 20% of your income and invest 15%. 20% of your income. Minimum 20% of your income over a long time. Keep doing it over and over again, and then you will get rich.
Exactly.
You will, like, it's easiest. It's pretty simple. It's pretty easy. It's pretty self-explanatory to get rich.
You guys will be surprised with how easy it is.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna
Like if
lie.
you just plug it in. What's it called? Compounding interest calculator. Just put in, like, let's say you invest $20,000 a year, and let's say you get a return of, let's say you just put in S&P 500, right? Let's just be a little bit optimistic and say you get return of 10%. I think anyone can get about 10% return if they actually put some time into investments. I think they can get 15%. Anyone can get 15% return if they put some time into their investments. But let's just say you put into S&P 500, and you put 20,000 every single year for 30 years. Check it out how much the money will be. It'll be like around $8 million or $10 million, something crazy amount. But yeah, and then
10% is too.
huh?
10% is too optimistic.
10% is not optimistic.
And how long?
Over 30 period of time. 30 years.
10% is not.
10% is nothing.
It's not that much.
But if you invest, if you're a smart investor,
It's a lot. But I feel like if you're putting 20,000 every year
you're going to get shut down.
for X amount of years, put it for like more than 20 or 30,
Yeah,
you're 100% making more than 10%.
but not in S&P 500. If you invest in
They're
individual
diversified.
stocks,
I think I've gotten lucky, for example, because I have like an 8% return overall.
But how much?
But you
how much
just
is
started,
your-
though.
exactly. How much is your initial?
you just started.
It's not. Yeah, it's not 20,000.
Yeah.
So with 20, you actually make more with 20,000. That
Still, 8% is not little.
And you just started, bro.
Yeah.
Like you're not expected to make 10%. But if once you're in investing for like a year or 2 years,
It's more-
like you will learn a lot more, and especially if you do a lot of research into your stocks, right?
Mhm.
And you have the extra money laying around, right? So if your stock goes down by 20%, you buy it, and then if that 20% goes back up to 20%, that means for you that stock went up by like 30+%,
Yeah.
right?
So that brings us. Sorry, guys.
Wait. So, and investing, you want to start as early as possible. If you're 30, 40, 50 years now old, it's not too late. It's better late than never, right? But if you're my age, or if you're 15, if you're 18,
How old are you?
I'm 20.
Yeah.
I started investing when I was 14. But yeah, so you want to start as early as possible. That way you can get to there quicker, and your money has more time to compound.
Exactly.
But yeah, so what were we saying?
I was gonna actually bring up a whole point number 2. So do you guys have anything else to add on the investment branch or category? Or anything else on?
That's so.
So in my opinion, I think number 2 is, you probably guys heard this before, readers are leaders. You know, rich does not have to be making money right away. You know, once you build yourself, build your knowledge, build a good basis for something you like or something you're passionate about, read a lot, educate yourself, you will find something that you like where you can excel. You can be better than anybody. And if you excel in a field, there's a high chance that you will make money in that field because people will come to you for advice, they will come to you for whatever that you've spent your time on and researched a lot and learned. So learning is as boring as it may sound.
It's important.
It's very important. You can't even learn stocks without
Learning about
learning
stocks.
and reading and
Into
watching.
companies and what, yeah.
It takes patience. So patience is a virtue, guys. So be patient. You know,
Keep improving yourself
Keep improving
by
yourself.
by reading. And also know yourself really well. If you know yourself really well, if you know what you're good at, if you know what you're best at, if you know your strengths and your weaknesses, you can really use those. And once again, as I said, like if you know you're really good at, let's say, coding, right? If you're like extremely good at it and you perfected your skills at coding, eventually you'll get a high-paying job as a coder. And then you'll make a lot more money than people who are like okay at coding and getting a job, because that's your skill, that's what you're good at. But yeah, and in my opinion, you should focus on your strengths more than your weaknesses. Don't worry too much about bettering your weaknesses. Worry about bettering your strength, because your strength is what's going to give you a lot of money. Once you get to a certain point, you can hire other people to take care of your weaknesses, right? So let's just say an executive, like a CEO or some shit, right? Or CEO, they hire people. They only focus on their strength, and then that strength they put it into the company, and the company excels. But they hire other people. Let's say the CEO is bad with math. They hire an accountant that can take care of their mathematical needs, right? And stuff like that. But they will never hire somebody who's who's good at their strength, because they know they're better than them at their strength, because that's their best trait. Definitely.
You're contradicting yourself.
Huh?
You're contradicting yourself. Because you said you won't hire someone who's good at their strength.
No, good at the CEO's strength.
Yeah, that's what it's called.
That's what I meant. My bad.
Okay.
Right? My English is a little jacked up. I'm a fuck. But yeah, so focus on your strength. Learn more. The more you learn, the more opportunities you have, in my opinion, right? So let's say if you never learn about stocks and you never learn about real estate, you never learn about this, you would have never had the opportunity or the knowledge to invest in stocks or real estate, right? So the more knowledge you have, the more pathway, the more doors that open up for you to be able to do different things.
So take some time out, learn yourself, build yourself. Don't be scared, because fear and laziness, I feel like are the worst two like
traits humans have.
It's not traits.
They're
They're
like
like
laziness is
especially lazy.
fear too, but with a bit of experience it goes away. Laziness is a habit.
Yeah.
It's way too difficult to deal with.
So get yourself out of your own mind, because some people, their mind, they limit themselves. Don't limit yourself. Trust me on that one. That's from experience. We'll dive into that later.
Yeah.
But the more you limit yourself, the more scared you get, and you start making more excuses for yourself, and that way you're hindering your ability to succeed.
Right.
So stay motivated. Don't lose sight. Don't give up. Work hard. Teach yourself. Read. Research. Just pick something you're passionate about and excel in it. And
I also feel like we're telling them what we need to hear for ourselves.
I mean, like,
I'm gonna watch that video again for myself.
Oh my god!
But that's what I believe is.
And that's what I've been doing, and
I feel like that's the most important thing. If you want to go anywhere in life, whether it's making money or being a free diver or being able to do a presentation, you need to not face your fears. Don't be lazy. Get out here, work hard, be passionate, shit, spread love. You'll be rich. Trust me.
Yeah, and so yeah, like I'm gonna give you my example, not as a way of flexing, but as like a way of. I know you do, motherfucker.
Let him flex.
Shit.
Okay, we'll let him flex.
But not a way of flexing, but as a way of like teaching. So for me, a day that I don't learn something new, that's the day I call I say that day is wasted, in my opinion. And because of I learned so much, I was able to like start investing at such an early age. I learned from my dad, and then I bought books and read books. I bought courses online. I learned from that. I watched YouTube videos, blah blah blah. Right? Just giving you an example in stock market. That's how because I kept learning and learning it. Still to this day, I learn every day about stock market. I research every day about companies and stuff like that. What companies I want to invest in, blah 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 blah. I'm able to get a return of anywhere between 20 to 25% over a period of year, right? I've never been through a recession, so I cannot say what returns I'll get. It'll probably be negative returns, but it'll be a good thing for me because I'll learn from it. Once again, facing your fears. I'm not scared of a recession. I want a recession to happen. So whenever that recession does happen,
We'll buy a lot.
I'm gonna buy so many
Yeah.
stocks. So like 2 years after recession, my money will 3x, 4x,
Exactly.
2x.
So look at the positive. You take advantage of situation you're in because bad money drives out good money.
Right.
Yeah.
And yeah, so just like keep learning. That's how I was able to get such a good return. And that's how I am a 1% for my age. I'm at the top 1% for my age because I've done these things that other people don't do. Like if you think about middle class don't do these stuff that rich people do. That's what they are, middle class. If you want to climb out of that middle class, you have to do what rich people do.
You have to get uncomfortable.
You have to get uncomfortable.
Out of your comfort zone.
Right.
Once you get out of your comfort zone,
It's growth. It's growth. On the other side of fear is growth, happiness, and success. So just do that.
On that note, it also depends a lot on the people who are surrounded with.
that's
Right,
true.
that's
So
100% true.
surround yourself with people. Okay, number 3, guys. Always, not always. Okay, try surrounding yourself with people who are better.
Better
Because
than
because if you surround yourself
In
with
those
people who are
aspects,
better
they
than me,
improve.
I know I shouldn't be sitting with these guys. I'm sorry, but it is what it is. I'm just kidding, guys. They are all better than me. That's a fact.
We're
But,
we're better in aspects that you just.
That's
Right.
So for
you're better than me at soccer.
Yeah.
Yeah, man.
But depends. Like know your goal, right? And surround yourself with people who are better than you at that goal.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Right? Which is gonna be hard at some point. Like
Or
once you
people-
get to a certain point,
Yeah.
it's gonna be hard to find people who are better than you
Mhm.
at certain things.
Or surrounding yourself with people who have the same goal and are working. towards
Yeah,
it.
exactly.
Exactly.
So you have motivation.
Exactly.
And you guys keep pushing yourself
Yeah.
to go after what
So,
you want.
Yeah. So that's pretty self-explanatory, pretty simple. I'll say 4.4. Let's see. What else can you do?
I think we said everything.
No, there's something else that came on my mind. I just forgot what it was.
Knowledge.
Knowledge, I
You know what I like more than my Lamborghini?
Knowledge.
But Ty Lopez ain't wrong though. Even though he might be a dickhead, I think he's a little bit scammer, but I don't know.
Your guys' biggest investments is your time. My father used to always tell me that.
Wait, what you said? What you said?
Biggest investment in a person's life is his time. Because the time gone can never go back. You lose money, money come back.
Right.
You lose a girl, find another one.
Yeah.
Right as.
You lose, you fail a final, you can retake it unless it's your 3rd time.
If it's your 3rd time and you still fail it, you're a fucking moron.
You're doing something wrong. You need to change.
Drop out, bro.
Don't keep doing the same thing expecting a different result. That's
Yeah.
the definition of insanity.
That's a good life lesson right there.
Yeah.
Um,
I just need to apply it in my life.
kind of hard. Just
There's
leave.
something I'm forgetting. Just have to let it.
And another investment that's really good is yourself, once again, the knowledge and stuff like that. So like knowledge is not giving you money out right away, right? But the ROI of knowledge is very hidden, and it will come any other time that you will not expect it, and it will make the ROI will be much more than like other types of
ROI. Just
return on investments.
yeah. Just so you guys know.